Hi everyone, my name is Amanze Ogbonna and this is my channel. So today we'll be talking about life as a remote African software engineer or a developer, if you want to put it that way. So you might have not met a lot of remote software engineers. They were scarce in my own closed circuit, and until I became one. So it used to be this mythical thing where I wonder, how do you become a remote software engineer, a remote software developer? But last year I became one, and it's been a year plus since my first experience. So I'll be answering some questions concerning what it's like being an African or a Nigerian remote developer. So where do I live? I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I cannot give you my address for security reasons. But nonetheless, I stay in Lagos, and so far it's been good and I like it here. I was born in Lagos though, and I moved out of Lagos once in a while, rather during my young years and my university years. So Lagos has been home for me. My family is here, everybody is here, but I stay in my own place, so I stay in Lagos. The second question will be, who do I work for? So I work for a company. Seriously, I work for an European company. I cannot share the details because of I don't know how they will feel with me sharing their information. So what are the essentials for a remote job? Here in Nigeria, everything is against you. NEPA, that's our power. It's against you. The government is against you. Everything is against you. So it's best you try as much as possible to go off grid. If you can go off grid, go hybrid. That is, you have your own source of power, then you can tap into the government's power. So some remote developers, they run generators and they use NEPA or PHCN or whatever they call them these days. I don't know what they are. But in my own case, I went battery first, battery to mains, battery to grid, that is battery to NEPA. Then I went solar, battery and grid. So right now, whenever there is no power, I can still work during the day. My panels can charge my battery, and whenever there is power, the mains charge my battery also. So I don't want it to be a situation where I'm working and my employers need me and I'm like, there is no power. So some other people, if they don't have that luxury of having power for their 8 hours of work, they can just get a good laptop. Most people just get a Mac. If they can charge for 3 hours, they are good for the next 5 to 8 hours. So, but I don't use a laptop. I've never really considered investing in one for now, but maybe sometime around the mid of this year I should be able to invest in a laptop. So I use a desktop because I want to be able to run heavy computing on my machine. So some people can use their laptops. I use a desktop. So the second thing that is important will be your computer. Like I mentioned, I use a desktop. But for more versatility, like a friend of mine who was in Egypt, or rather a colleague of mine who was in Egypt, he worked with a laptop. So whenever there is no resource, I think he worked from his family home. So whenever there is noise there, he just moves to a cafe. But I don't like going to cafes because I'm always contemplating how much do I have to eat and drink before they allow me to stay this long in their premise. So I generally don't like intruding people's spaces. I don't like issues. So I just prefer to stay in my own place, which also leads you to the next thing you need. You need or rather you don't really need, preferably you need your own place, your own house, even if it's a shoebox. Yeah, that helps you to mitigate a lot of issues. If you stay in the family house, there's no way your father or your mother will need your attention and you say I'm busy. You can say I'm busy, but yeah, you know, when you've grown up with them for a very long time and you tell them no, it feels like you're taking a rifle and killing them off. So just to avoid that heartbreak, take your stuff and move to another apartment. You can see them as much as you want. You don't have any issues there. Just move so that you have that autonomy. But this autonomy comes with a big setback. That is food. So food is one of my biggest issues when working remotely. In some cases, I don't even eat. Every day I don't eat 3 square meals. I eat twice a day. In some cases I even forget to eat my breakfast. I eat around afternoon time. Case in point today. So okay, so most people my age are already married. So if you are working remotely, you probably have your wife prepare something for you. But if you don't have a wife or a companion with you who will provide food for you, or rather provide processed food for you, you are in luck. You are in bad luck rather. You have to prepare your food. You have to find a way to make fast food for yourself. Like for me, I eat bread, sauce, and any protein. I think I can whip up some egg and some vegetables in like 10 to 20 minutes and work and eat at the same time. So that one, once you can solve your first meal, I think you can hold up till the end of the day and just go and get something outside, or you make something inside. You have all the time you want, but nonetheless that first meal is the most critical one. So if you have someone that can pack you something for the next day, good for you. The last one will be internet. So here in Nigeria also, I won't say internet is bad, but it is not where it should be. It is not as cheap as the rest of the world, or I might say the rest of Africa. So we have a lot of people, but we've not gotten to the point where the telcos feel they are making enough money for us to give us uncapped data for the home. So fiber here is still restricted to how much will I call it in dollars? Let's say less than let's say $90 in my current plan. Let's say $90 or $80, around $85 for. Do I like working with my co-workers? Yes, I enjoy it a lot because I end up learning a lot from a lot of them. When I first got into the job, I had my own experience, but I made it a point of caution, or how will I put it? I made it. English is hard for me. I made it in a way that I never look down on anybody. So I always have something to learn from everybody, and I am open to the fact that I may be wrong. If I can live that way, there is only few things that can really annoy me. With that philosophy, I ended up learning a lot from even people that are not even technical. And whenever new people come in, I don't believe in this attitude of they are bringing new people to replace me. Even if they are bringing new people to replace me, I do not care. There's this verse in the Bible that says, in whatever you do it as unto the Lord. So whomsoever I work for, I try to give my best, because I've employed before and I always wanted them to give their best to the point of where they do not kill themselves, where they are comfortable. So whenever I work for somebody, I know every single penny, every single dollar they spend on me is a sacrifice on their own part. So their own part rather. So I try as much as possible to give them their money's worth. So whenever somebody new comes into the company and needs some hand holding, I try my best to help that person to get on board faster, because in the end it will benefit me and it will benefit the company. Because if the company doesn't see any improvement in your division or your team, they'll be like, we are spending X amount of money every month and we are not getting any returns. Let's sack those guys. It's true. So it's best you always put in your best to make sure that your team, your group, your project is always on top, or else you being selfish will end up costing everybody their jobs. So try to put in your best, and that's the philosophy I live by. I put in my best every day. Sometimes I even put in extra hours to make sure that we get some things done, because sometimes too many things will be dependent on me, and if I don't finish them, the other person will get stuck. So just put in the extra hours and make sure that I don't block the next person, because in our own case we have people living like 12 hours away. So not away like time zone, yes. So we have to know how to manage that time dynamics. So I enjoy working with my colleagues, especially the new ones. I keep learning every single day, and they are very confident, and I admire them for that. Yeah. How do I motivate myself every day? Motivation is one of the key things in this line of business. So the first thing I do in the morning is I pray. So some people meditate. I don't believe in meditation. I believe in a physical, or rather a personal God. So I pray, and that prayer connects me to Him, and it gives me confidence to move for the next day, or rather the current day, and it kind of energizes me. The second thing I do is I exercise. I don't do it as rigorous as some people, all these calisthenics and all those things. No, I've made it a tradition of mine that no matter what, I must do push-ups every day. So I don't know where you are at your working out regimen, but in my own case, I started doing push-ups almost religiously for like 3 years now, and it has really helped me. Before I used to look a little scrawny, but now my chest is wider, and it's because I put in the extra work. So if you are scrawny, just try push-ups. But that more or less gets the blood pumping, and you kind of want to work. It's not the one that you wake up, you bathe, and you're like, what's next? No, it helps you revive your physical body. So do my push-ups, not to brag, but I'm up to 100 now, 100 push-ups per day. I remember when I was struggling with 30. Anyhow, yeah, so exercise. The next one is whenever I finish exercise, I bathe, I do everything. When I'm working, I try to also engage myself by entertaining myself and also learning at the same time. So what I do is I have a phone mount which I'm using to record this video right now. I just put on YouTube. I look at current affairs while I'm working. I learn new things. I try to examine like different arguments and some philosophical issues, and it helps. Learning and working, entertaining and working. I used to listen to music while working, but I stopped that a long time ago. It's good. It cools the mind. It works for some people. It works for me also, but I think I prefer video. So I learn not as if I look at the video though. It's more or less like commentary, or sometimes documentaries, sometimes politics, sometimes different kind of things. If I have enough break, maybe some short clip of anime. Yeah, I watch anime too. So the other thing that keeps me motivated is the fact that I'm grateful for the opportunity I have. I'm not working for a Nigerian company remotely. I don't commute to my office. I wake up, I do my daily rituals, I prepare, and I walk to my station and I work. I'm very grateful for that. You need to hear about the dangerous Lagos story of commuting to see the problems people face moving from A to B. When I used to work with my father during my industrial training, as my IT, we leave home around 4:35 and we get back home around 11 p.m., sometimes 12 p.m. That's a long time. We get home 11 p.m. not because we finish work around 10. We finished working around 5. So from 5 to 11 we were commuting. So that's how bad Lagos is. Although to Lagos's defense, we were at the outskirts of Lagos, not too far from the outskirts of Lagos. But nonetheless, even people within Lagos spend an average of 3 to 4 hours, no, 2 to 3 hours commuting. And this one is like people close to their place of work. The traffic is, I've never been to San Francisco, but I'm guessing it's almost the same thing. But if you've experienced San Francisco, hold up, please don't kill me. I don't know. When I reach there and I check out, then I can judge. Well, this one ties to the same thing. How do I keep motivated? But this one is, don't I get bored? I do. I do. There's working remotely is not exactly all roses and flowers. Sometimes it's fun to have a colleague in front of you. You can do some other activities during or after work, but I don't have it. I just have to live without it. That's one of the trade-offs of working remotely. It's okay. The biggest question now is, what do I get paid? How much do I earn? And the answer to that is top secret. So I can't share that. Nah, it depends on your negotiation or negotiating power. So if you meet a company and you negotiate to a point where they can afford you, then they can afford you. You can be the $1,000 guy, you can be the $5,000 guy. It depends on how well you can negotiate and how much the company needs you. If a company's budget is close to what you're asking for, and you more or less want to work with them, I think it's left for you to compromise. But if a company's budget is higher, I don't know how you can get that information. Maybe you do your own research yourself and you feel they are shortchanging you, then don't take the job. You can always look for other jobs, but it's not as if it's easy. But nonetheless, you value yourself and you take what is good for you. I know this is an advice that almost everybody tells you, but I always used to feel the same way when people say the same thing until I experienced it myself. You just have to negotiate. That's it. So yeah, so that's everything for my video, for this video rather. Thank you for staying with me till the end of this my question and answer. And now you know how it's like being a remote developer in Nigeria or Africa. So if you like this video, you can give me a thumbs up. You can like it. Just press it. Like. It will not explode. Just press like. Then if you love it, then you can just subscribe and help me. My YouTube is very old, but it's not growing. I've been on YouTube for almost 5 years and I'm barely above 100. So I'm trying to take this a little more serious now. So help me out. Subscribe, click the bell icon so that you see my video the next time, and also try and share to those your aspiring friends that want to be remote developers, that have been thinking about it, so they at least know what it's about. And you can follow me on my journey as I move on in this life as a remote developer, and also have technologies to share. So anyhow, take care guys. Bye bye.